Welcome to my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. And if you're new to the channel, I thank you for subscribing. In today's video, we're going to talk about what do we mean when we talk about being in a flow state. What exactly is being in a flow state? Well, being in a flow state is something that you can connect with. And the best time to do it is first thing in the morning before the analytical mind starts to take over our daily tasks and living throughout the day and what we have to and need to do. And being in a flow state involves being in a very creative state, and it's being energized by a positive force of energy that's inside the body. And it can be directed towards something that you really love to do, or you could just use it towards a brainstorming or trying to think of what I would love to do. But most times we have a general idea of what we like to do in the form of hobbies and things that we like to do that we were really good at in the past, that are skills. They're not necessarily our career, but they're things that we love doing. We like to put our creative energy towards. And a good example of that is playing music in a band. And getting into a flow state is the best thing for coming up with new music with that band. And when you are in a group rehearsal with your band members and you are getting together to write some music for an upcoming album or whatever it is that you're working on, what you guys are feeling when you're in that rehearsal, that is a flow state. You are not analyzing and thinking about your life problems and all of the bad relationships and the negative stored emotions from the past that force us to live through the ego. And the ego takes over the body. It wants us to pay attention to the negative. It wants us to pay attention to everything that's wrong and not thinking in a flow state and being at peace with life. And when you get into spirituality, because you guys know that a lot of my channel is being connected spiritually with something greater from above, or the universal intelligence, God, whatever it is that you believe in, you can just call it something greater. I like to call it my higher self. And when you connect with something like that as a morning practice, and coming out of that meditation that you have just focused all of your energy on, and you're building positive energetic vibrations within the body, you're connecting with the version of yourself that is no longer in alignment with lowered energy fields that are keeping us stuck, that are keeping us living the same exact way every day. You're able to create new opportunities in a new way of living that is no longer controlled through the ego 100% of our day. And the ego always wants to be validated. The ego always wants to be fed what is comfortable. It doesn't want you living in the unknown. The ego wants you to remain in the known, in the familiar, which familiar is another word that is attached to familial. Familial is like family, and what happened in family in our relationships back in the day are things and stuff and the way we were raised by our parents and our relationships with our brothers and sisters and a lot of things that have happened in family is what created the character that we are today. But being more aware of the things that are suppressed, that were negative life moments from our family, our upbringing, our growing up from a child to the adult that we are here today. And when you meditate and you connect with yourself more on a spiritual level, you were able to do the inner work to go in and see what it was that was bothering you from the past, from the old life moments that are connected to the family, and do the inner work on it to start to be able to clear it from the body so that you can live a more loving life. And the more that you live your life with love, that is when you open up the portals to allow flow to enter the body, and there's a flow of loving energy throughout all of your energetic chakras. If you're trying to be a musician that's going to write an awesome album or a really kick-ass song for the next jam with the boys, you're going to want to connect with this energetic flow of energy as much as possible. So you can get into meditating in the morning and whichever form of meditation that you are comfortable trying out. And when you come out of that meditation, what I would call the positive energy from that meditation you're going to feel for a good 30 minutes to probably an hour, I would call that state of just coming out of meditation a flow state, because you're feeling really connected to everything. You're feeling really connected to everyone around you that's around your home, or whatever it is that you like to do in the mornings. If it's have coffee, make breakfast, get ready for work, or if it's a day off, do something you love. If you do a meditation and then do something you love before whatever tasks that you have set out for yourself, you are creating a flow state of loving energy environment for yourself. And when you can start to tune into that frequency of what you love to do, that you're directing your creative energy towards, you're able to live like that throughout your day more often. The more that you practice this loving flow state, this flow state is something that can be felt and lived throughout your day. It can be something that helps you create an identity. If a musician is something you're going after, is something that you'd like to achieve in life, if you'd like to put out a successful album or write some music and it get high rated up on the charts, well, you need to become the musician. You need to become the person that is a success. And you need to do that ahead of the success coming. Because when you learn to act, think, and feel as the successful musician that is going to write the pop hit, that is going to write whatever genre of music that you play hit, you need to start to act, think, and feel as that person and live with the gratitude that your album was already released and you already won. You already went to the awards and got first place. And that is something that you can visualize in those meditations. And what you're doing is you're sending a signal to the quantum field that you're willing to start living in that frequency here and now, and that you believe in yourself, and it'll start to rewrite the story for you. Because most of us are living in lack that play music. And if you're just writing music and you're not pleased with the music scene that you're involved in your local community or city that you are from. That is the story that is going to continue to get reflected back to you, that nobody is willing to give us a chance. What are we living like again? We're living through the ego. The ego wants to live as the victim. And the victim is, oh, poor me. Nobody wants to give me a chance. Nobody likes me. Please pity me, you know? Or things that set us off and put us in anger is the ego as well. Because the ego has pride in whatever it is that the circumstance or the person did to you hurts your pride. And when it hurts your pride, it puts you in anger. And when it discourages you, it puts you in shame. So to get away from living in the ego is to practice living in elevated states of positive emotion. And to get to that level is through daily practice of meditation. Believe it or not, just meditating can help you create a different version of yourself. You don't have to become someone completely different, but it can change the way you identify yourself with the outer environment. And what we need to learn is that we can't change the world around us. The only thing that we can change is ourselves and the story that we keep telling ourselves and our self-image, and to stop looking at ourselves as the victim and look at ourselves as the success and start living through your success mechanism. And when you start living like that day after day after day, as time goes on, as you practice living in positive flowing emotions and embodying the flow state, embodying the morning practice, and being connected with spirituality and your higher self, and envisioning the highest version of yourself that could be the very successful musician that is going to make $1 million or more. Whatever it is that you see yourself as, you will envision that, and the quantum field will give you signs, but you have to really tune into that frequency. And the frequency is to get out of the autopilot that you are living every day, and to tune into a new frequency version of yourself that already exists right here and now, and to believe in the process, believe in the journey, believe in yourself and the person that you are becoming, that is going to get you towards that goal. And it's not the goal that's going to change you, it's the steps in the process towards achieving that goal and the person you are changing yourself into. And it's coming from daily practice. It's getting us away from living in survival and thinking that life is not good enough, and I never ever had my big break, and some people are fortunate to get a break and I'm not ever going to ever get that break. That's just a story that you keep telling yourself, and when you tell yourself that, it will continue to get reflected back to you. So try embodying that flow state I talk about in the mornings, and embody that, and that feeling of love for what you really love to do, what you're really passionate about. Because then you're going to discover your purpose. And when you discover your purpose, you're going to come up with a game plan on how to take action to start to achieve the things that are going to lead you to that success. You don't just become that overnight by meditating once or to try to manifest it into your life. You're not going to manipulate the universe to give you what you want. You have to become somebody completely different here. And you're going to trust in the universe. You're going to trust in the new story you're going to begin to tell yourself, and work on being in this flow state every morning. And try to carry out that loving state of flowing positive energy for as much as you possibly can throughout your day. And it's going to get easier and easier and easier as time goes on, because you're just going to feel that loving, flowing state. That is going to become an automatic pattern. And that's not living in autopilot in a bad way. That would be living in autopilot in a good way, and not through the ego anymore, not through the living in survival that keeps us living in the past and living in the future. You don't need this successful thing to happen right here and now. You have to believe in the process. So try the meditations, try being in a flow state as much as possible. Good luck with it, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.